Okay, I think we're ready to get going. Go ahead and get that playlist queued up. If you are listening along, I'll cue you to hit play in just a moment here. We are going to begin on our backs with your knees together and your feet apart, which I'll go ahead and do. So if you are listening to the playlist, go ahead and hit play right about now. And again, we'll be laying down on our backs with your knees together and your feet out wide. And then you can place your hands on your belly or on the floor or any other placement that just feels, again, intuitive. And just inviting in breath, mindful breath, yogic breath, which I often describe as smooth and spacious. And present, like your breath literally becomes a presence, a mindful presence in your body. So if your hands are on your belly, just feel that belly space receive breath, right? The spaciousness and the rising energy of the inhale. And as we slow down the exhale, we're breathing in and out of the nose, tuning into how that feels in your back body. Being mindful of your drishti, your gaze, where you choose, what you choose to take in, whether it's eyes closed to start, if that's comfortable for you, or a soft one-pointed gaze up above, wherever you are practicing. Let that be a meditation. Find a very detailed point to let your eyes rest. Or if eyes are closed, just allowing that forehead center space to be your focal point. And for this next hour, or 70 minutes, whatever you choose, setting the intention to hit pause on all of the noise. To use this practice, the movement, the breath, the soulful guidance. Like my intention is to, be your guide in using the combination of all of that, right? The movement, the breath, the guidance, if you're listening also to the music, to just release layer upon layer. Anything that feels heavy in our hearts, in our bodies, in our minds, to use the practice to release, again, layer upon layer, to create more space for lightness, for the ease of breath to flow, for harmony within our own energy body, igniting that deep peace within heart space, and allowing the mind to be spacious and in alignment with heart space. Let's take just a few more breaths here, just easing in this morning, feeling the earth floor element beneath you. One more deep breath, arriving. If you'd like, you can stretch your arms up overhead and your legs long and take a yawn-like stretch of breath into your body, feeling how long and tall you can feel here laying on the back. And then now drawing knees into the chest, giving yourself a squeeze. If you'd like, you can rock side to side or cup your hands on your kneecaps and kind of roll the sacrum and the low back into circular motions, rolling even off to the side into the side body and hips. One more squeeze. Welcome yourself to the practice in the intention that you also bring we're going to transition from here into all fours tabletop pose. You can either roll to the side or go ahead and rock on up. Choosing your transition to an all fours position. Knees are hip width apart, palms underneath shoulders. And just flowing with ease through cow and cat. For cow, the belly drops. We press into the hands, open up through chest, throat, and then we're just gonna round through each vertebrae into a cat pose. You can do this with an exaggerated slowness or perhaps moving with more fluidity. And here we invoke the water element in the spine from the hips. You can come up onto fingertips. You can add variations such as rolling out into circular motions through your hips. And just notice as we begin to really move the spine and the back body, where we also stay rooted, in this case, beneath the palms, beneath the knees. All right, so we come back through a neutral. Let's come up onto your fingertips. You're gonna tent your fingertips, your hands, and finding a cow pose and just plugging into your fingertips. From here, rounding, this time with intentional slowness, through a cat-like pose, and then stretching hips back towards your heels. Maybe they touch, and again, our hands are tented, and your chin can just tuck into your chest, or maybe forehead drops. We'll do that again, just ease forward with tented hands, opening into cow pose, starting at the base of the spine, rounding through each vertebrae, and then stretching hips back towards heels. We'll do that one more time, just for a variation here. Rising open right to the top of your inhalation, and then rounding back. And with slow intention and stretching back. Let's pause here for this child's variation and walk your fingertips over to the left. Your hands can stay apart, tented, flat, or you can cross one palm on top of the other and just drop your head, your ears between your biceps. And if you want to make any adjustments in terms of how wide your knees are, and see if you can really breathe now into that right sort of outer rib cage, into your right waist. And then just walking back through center, we'll just walk our hands now off the edge of the right side of your mat. Again, hands can stay apart, palms crossed, whatever feels best, so that you can just drop the head and really focus on that breath in that outer left rib cage, down into the waist. Coming back through center, and we'll take ourselves back into a downward facing dog, stretching back, and just allowing movement to show up. Whatever movement just feels intuitive in your body. You can just walk it out, maybe lift up and stretch the toes. You can allow your heels to fall over to one side and then the other. And then settling into your first down dog here. Now we'll just fine tune it a little bit. First, breathe. Allow your body to breathe into this shape, right? This familiar spot where we'll come back to several times in this practice. So although we're certainly engaged, there is an element of ease and rest. In this case, we have a nice strong arms and we're rooted through the palms. But try to relax the back of the neck, down through forehead space, in the jaw. Let's take another breath here. And then we'll just pull forward into a plank. Taking a full breath in, right back to downward facing dog for the pit of the belly, stretching back. Let's do that again. Plank pose, inhaling forward, shoulders coming aligned over wrists, and then stretching back. So see if you can invoke almost like an oceanic, like ocean waves vibe here. Inhaling forward, exhaling back. And now from here, lifting the right leg up, three-legged down dog. We're gonna open the hip. You can do this with a straight leg or a bent knee. You can roll out the ankle to start, or any other movements here, getting into that right hip. Maybe some even wider circular movements, staying really strong and engaged in the arms so we're not collapsed in the left shoulder. And now let's bring that right knee towards your outer right elbow to start. Cross over the midline, sweep your knee so your shoulders are coming forward now, over towards like your left elbow. And then through the middle, we're just gonna stretch back and open the hip. Take a breath, see how long you can feel in your body. We'll do that one more time. So sweeping the right knee like out towards the right arm and then crossing the midline over towards the left. Back through center, open the hip. Now we're gonna bring that hip square. Right, so you're pressing through that back heel, the back of the right leg engaged, like you're pressing into a wall, gazing forward, stepping your right foot to your right thumb. Gently lowering that left knee down. Taking a breath here into that hip space. And then lifting the back knee and straightening both legs. Flex the right toes up, chin to chest. So let's do that again. Bring it forward gently, left knee down. Opening up through throat, forehead, and then like you're tracing that forehead center back through heart, lengthening both legs and flexing the right toes up. This time as we come back forward and lower the left knee down, reaching arms up overhead. From here, hook your thumbs and fan out your fingertips. So we stay rooted through that front foot, opening up through chest space. Gazing up. One more breath here. And then we'll bring the left hand down, right arm up, opening into a twist. So you can stay here or lift your back knee. And you can even open that right arm like out to an angle or even behind you a bit. Maybe turn the right foot out at an angle and allow your hips to open and just kind of drop that right hand back behind you. And swinging the right hand down. Plank pose from here, stepping back. And we're gonna lower to our belly, so coming forward and then all the way down. Stretch both feet back, get some nice length through the legs. We're gonna slide onto the fingertips. So your hands are off to the edges of the mat, like cricket wings. And then rising up through head and shoulders. Rolling shoulder heads back. And you can just come up as far as feel good in the low back. And slowly flow back down, forehead to earth. Again, rising up, rolling shoulder heads back. And release. So you can stay with that flow, or the next time you rise up, you can roll out through the shoulders. And invoking that fluid water element in shoulders, across chest into the neck. Keeping the legs strong and engaged. And the breath, smooth and spacious, present in the body, in harmony with the movement. And release. From here, coming into that all fours position, tabletop. Tenting the hands. Cow pose, dropping the belly, opening up through chest. And then rounding again with intentional slowness through each vertebrae. Stretching hips back towards heels. And then as we come back forward, let's take it back to downward facing dog. And take a breath. A grounding breath, just anchoring here and now. And now the left leg, lifting up, three-legged down dog, opening the hip. Again, this can be a straight leg or a bent knee. You can start by rolling out the ankle, and then maybe bringing that movement into circular motions for your left hip. And then opening the hip, again, we're gonna sweep the left knee towards the outer left arm, cross the midline of your mat, over towards the right elbow, and then right through middle, stretching back, allowing the hip to open. Again, mindful that we're not just sinking into that right shoulder. And again, sweeping over, crossing through, over towards right elbow, and then stretching back, opening the hip. From here now, bring your hips square, stretch through that back left heel. Feel how long you are from your hands, through your arms, the spine, the back of the left leg, squeezing the thigh, creating a fist in the belly, lots of engagement, and then gazing forward and stepping your left foot to your left thumb, easing that right knee down. Keeping hands down to start. Take a breath here into the hips. And then lifting the back knee, stretch both legs long and flex your left toes up, dropping the head heavy. And let's do that again. We'll come forward, ease the right knee down, lift up through forehead, take a breath into your hip space, and then lifting the back knee, lengthening into this wide pyramid-like stretch. And as we come back forward, again, we'll lower the knee, holding here, reaching arms up and overhead for Anjaneyasana. Hooking thumbs, fanning out your fingertips. Finding a slight back bend, like right between the shoulder blades is where we lift, as if someone was just gently pressing their fingertips. And then gazing up or closing the eyes. Again, the breath present and spacious from the hips up through heart space, through fingertips, and then releasing right hand down, twisting open, left arm up. You can stay right here or lift your back knee. You can reach at a diagonal, or even behind you, you can turn the left foot out, drop the hips, and we just kind of like open the body, right? Reaching back behind you, as long as that feels okay in your front knee. And then swinging the left hand down, framing the foot. We'll step back, plank pose. Now you can just come right back to down dog. Otherwise, we'll start to bring in the vinyasa flow, which is coming forward just a bit past the wrist and lowering halfway down, chaturanga dandasana. And you can do this with knees down. You can go low on the belly for cobra or pull forward your chest through your arms, lifting the thighs for upward facing dog. And then taking it back, downward facing dog. And then taking a breath. All right, we'll flow through a version of Surya Namaskar with our low lunge. First, we'll bring ourselves to the top of the mat, bending your knees, and you can step, walk, or just float to the top of the mat. And we'll take a halfway lift here with airplane arms. So you can do this with bent knees as you sweep your fingertips back by your hips, or you can lengthen, but engage the core to protect the low back. Open across the chest, one more breath, and then release down, forward fold. From here, we're gonna rise all the way up, extended mountain pose, hands up overhead, one breath, and then tracing hands through heart line, down back into your forward fold. Again, a halfway lift with airplane arms, bent knees, or straight legs. And as we release down, big step back with the right foot. Lower the back knee. And then one breath, Anjaneyasana. You can keep your hands apart or hook those thumbs and lift from the chest. Maybe tilt back, releasing hands down. Plank pose from here. Back to down dog and just hold and breathe, or vinyasa flow, but moving with intention, slowing it down a bit. So we just breathe our way through each posture back to down dog. Right leg lifts, option to open the hip, coming back square, gazing forward, stepping your right foot to your right thumb, back knee down. Anjaneyasana, stay rooted in that front foot. Lift up, hands apart, or hook your thumbs. We're gonna step to the front of the mat, so as our hands come down, left foot meets the right foot. Halfway lift with airplane arms. Again, bent knees or lengthen. And release, a moment of ease. And then vibrant energy up, extended mountain pose, hands up overhead to the top of your inhale. Forward fold, through heart line, bring it down. I gotta turn this one up, one of my favorite happy songs. Halfway lift. And release. Left foot steps back, big step back. Lower the left knee down and rise. Rise with breath and moving with intention. Hands down, plank pose. From there, back to down dog, hold it and breathe, or vinyasa flow. We lower on the exhale and then rise on the inhale. And we all meet back, downward facing dog. Left leg reaches, option to open the hip. Come back square, gaze forward, left foot forward. Lower the right knee and rise. Anjaneyasana. We'll step to the top of the mat, forward fold. Uttanasana. Halfway lift, airplane arms. And release. Drop the head heavy. And now rise up. Again, growing tall all the way from the feet to the fingertips with your breath. Forward fold through heart center to the earth floor. Halfway lift. And release. One more time each side. Right foot steps back. Lower the knee. Anjaneyasana. The option to hook the thumbs and lift from the chest. Hands down. High push-up plank pose. Back to down dog. Or forward and down. Chaturanga Dandasana. Upward facing dog or cobra. Down dog. Right leg lifts. Option to open the hip. Come back square, gaze forward. Right foot to the right hand. Left knee down. Rising up. Anjaneyasana. And release. Stepping to the top of the mat, forward fold. Halfway lift with airplane arms. And release down, head heavy, back of neck relax. And then we rise up again from the earth to the skies above, right back down. Halfway lift. And release, left foot steps back. Lower the knee. Rise up. Filling the lungs to the top of your inhale, and then we touch the earth floor. High push-up. Hold here, back to down dog, or vinyasa flow, keeping the breath smooth and continuously flowing with movement. Back to down dog. Last one, left leg lifts. Step left foot through, back knee down. Rising up. Hands down, top of the mat, forward fold. Halfway lift. And release. From here, rising all the way up, extended mountain pose. Now hook your thumbs. And go ahead and stretch over to the right, pressing the left hip out. You can also hook around your right hand around your wrist. Coming back through center and over to the other side. Coming back through center. Now we're gonna reach back, interlace fingers behind your back, and either lengthening the arms with palms clasped, or you can do this with bent elbows, holding on to like your wrists or arms. Take a breath. Right? Just feeling both feet in the earth. As we lift the left knee, holding that bind behind you. Just bringing in that experience of some balance. Make sure we're not holding the breath. From here, warrior three. So you're gonna begin to stretch the left leg. If you need to step it back, we're gonna meet in a warrior one stance here in just a moment. Steady eyes. Bend that front knee and land the left foot back. Slide your feet first into place. Your back heel is down and the right knee 12 o'clock. Lift your heart, throat, forehead. We're gonna bring it low into a humble warrior. So you might need to scoot your right foot over to make some room to now fold all the way down, or you can rest on your right thigh. Let's roll up one vertebrae at a time from those strongly rooted feet, lifting up through heart, throat, forehead, and then we're gonna bring it down low, humble warrior. Drop your head, relax the back of the neck. Relax the forehead space, which is a cue to relax the mind and release tension and layers we carry there. Releasing hands, leaving the left hand down, come onto the ball of the back foot. You're gonna open your right arm to a twist. You can stay right here. Another option is to lower the back knee, turn your right foot out, bend your back knee and catch your foot behind you. Bringing that right hand back down, lift your back knee, standing splits, lifting the left heel up. So you can stay right here, you can hold on to your ankle with your right hand. Another option is balancing half moon. You can hold on to your hip if that's helpful. Now the hip opens, the right hand is outside the right pinky toe, or maybe you can hold on to a table or a wall nearby if you're using blocks at home. Another variation here is to reach your left arm up towards the ceiling. And just a final offering, bending the knee, half bow, catching the foot and opening up into like a dancer pose. Breathe, take in what you see, find a meditative spot for the eyes to rest. Explore the experience of balance and the shape you've created in your body as a meditation. All right, if you have that knee bent, stretch the leg. We're gonna land in a warrior two. So bend the front knee to get there. Back foot drops. Arms open. Smooth out across the shoulders and chest. Feel that even energy through front fingertips, back fingertips. Coming into an extended side angle from here, forearm to front thigh. Swing your left arm up like a circle and then over the left ear so that you roll that left shoulder head open. From here, a reverse warrior, backhand lands at the back leg, right arm up and over. Lengthen that front leg, arms now parallel. If you need to shorten your stance for triangle pose, Trikonasana, leaning forward as you tilt the pelvis and the left hip back, and then bring that right hand down, left arm up. Coming back to a warrior two. Let's repeat that sequence one more time. First, smooth out, even energy through both feet. Right arm, left arm. Extended side angle pose, forearm to thigh. Swing that left arm forward and then up and over the head. So you have a long line of energy from that back foot all the way through your left fingertips. Reverse warrior. Notice how your legs just stay rooted. Right arm up, back hand drops to body. Lengthen that front leg. Triangle pose, Trikonasana. Reaching forward, bring that right hand down as the left arm lifts up. One more breath. Good. As you bring your left hand down, come onto the ball of your back foot, step back, plank pose. You can take it right back to down dog or vinyasa flow, again, moving with intention. Using the vinyasa just to, like a ritual of cleansing the space. And we come back just to this place of home, downward facing dog, and just take a breath. Settle in, anchoring here and now. Making our way to the top of the mat. You can step, walk, or just float to the top of your mat. Halfway lift with airplane arms. Breathe, lengthen, and release back down. Rising all the way up. Extended mountain. Hooking your thumbs. And leaning over to one side. Breathe into that side body. Back through center, lifted through the heart, and then over to the other side. Coming back through center, finding that bind behind you. Feeling both feet rooted. As we now lift the right knee. Steady eyes, calm and focused energy here in the mindset and the body. Grounded in our breath as we prepare for our warrior three, stretching back. And we're gonna meet a warrior one if you wanna go ahead and land it, otherwise just holding here. And create a fist in the low belly, engage that lifted leg. And to come into warrior one, bend that front knee and step back, slide your feet into place first. And then lift from heart, throat, forehead, bringing it down, humble warrior, dropping the head, maybe even shake it out. Rolling up from the feet, one vertebrae at a time, opening heart, throat, forehead, and then tracing that forehead center line down through heart, down to earth floor, shake out the head. Relax the eyes. Smooth out across the forehead space. And then release hands down. We'll keep the right hand down. Come onto the ball of your back foot, opening into a twist. Left arm reaches up. Again, you can stay right here or lower the back knee. Turn the left foot out. Bend your back knee and catch your foot behind you. And then bringing that left hand down, lifting your back knee. Starting with standing splits, floating the right heel up as you drop towards that left leg. Again, you can stay right here and just hook your hand around the ankle. Or coming into your balancing half moon, Ardha Chandrasana, in which the right hip opens. We're gonna come into our warrior two. Sorry if you didn't already, if you wanted to, catching the foot. We'll meet in a warrior two, bending into that front knee, landing the back foot. Smoothing out across chest, evenly into the arms, settle down into both feet. Again, even energy where we're anchored right here at our midline. Take a breath. And then extended side angle, forearm to front thigh, swinging that right arm forward, and then add an angle, opening up overhead. Reverse warrior. So the feet stay rooted, just the arms flow, left arm up and over, back hand to back leg. Lengthening that front leg, triangle pose. Trikonasana. And we'll come back to our warrior two, repeating that sequence one more time. Pausing here for a breath. Extended side angle pose. Reverse warrior. Lengthen the front leg, arms parallel, and now Trikonasana, left hand down, right arm up. And then bringing your hand down, come onto the ball of the back foot. Stepping back, plank pose. You can just hold here, back to down dog, and breathe for 3 breaths, or bring it forward, halfway down for your vinyasa flow. Arriving back to down dog. Again, just pausing to breathe. As you gaze forward, stepping your right foot forward outside your right hand, just as a transition from lizard pose here with hands to the inside of the front foot. And then just walking your hands over to the left or whichever direction you're facing so that you end up in a wide-legged forward fold, Prasarita Padottanasana. And as you bring your arms forward, like down dogs, tenting the hands so that you're on all 10 fingertips. And then just stretching out the spine. But relaxing, again, the back of the neck. But notice how much space you can get in the entire back body. And breathe there into that space. And then coming into a halfway lift, turn your heels in, toes out, bend your knees so you're in a squat position. And then we're gonna rise all the way up into a 5-pointed star. Arms can be out parallel or at a wide V. Hook your thumbs, fan your fingers, maybe tilt back just slightly. Again, that's from the upper back. And then coming into a flow through squat, through horse, crossing at the wrists, and then rising back open. Hands can stay apart or hook the thumbs. Coming back through your flow, crossing opposite hand in front. So we're just gonna keep this flow moving, like moving meditation. You can lift your heels. And as you just tune into intuition and intuitive movement, maybe some other movement just with ease shows up, right? It's the beauty of an at-home practice. You can also just stay with what we're doing. And you can stay upright or bring it down closer to the earth floor. Continue that movement. And just trust what feels right to you. It's more about how it feels than what it looks like. We're gonna make our way back into a wide-legged forward fold. So however you get there safely, bring it back. Big toes in, even slightly pigeon-toed. Hands forward, come back, tenting the hands. Drop your ears between your biceps. So we'll take about 3 to 5 breaths here just to come back to a very grounding place, stretching out the back body. Right? If you have something else you'd like to practice in this moment, such as a tripod headstand, an inversion, a crow pose, an arm balance, or maybe just another version of your wide-legged forward fold, maybe some movement, come back to that. In your own time, if you've been in inversion, just take your time safely to come back down, feet to earth, halfway lift, and then just walk your hands to face the front of your mat, come onto the back heel or ball of your back foot and step back, plank pose. You can choose a vinyasa flow or follow me back to down dog and just take a few grounding breaths here as we will now slow down the practice. Starting with a half pigeon pose. As you gaze forward, just gonna slide your right knee behind your right wrist, lower the back knee, straighten out that back leg, long behind you. So you have a nice long light line of energy there from your back hip to your back toes. So you're not like turning the foot. If you'd like, stay upright for a few breaths. And whenever you're ready, we'll come into a resting phase of half pigeon. You can create like a pillow with your hands or If you want to tuck like a cushion or a block under your head. Another option here is to bring hands to prayer and just to tuck in, or even bring your thumb tips to connect lightly right between your eyebrows. And any alternative posture on the back if this just is not feeling kind to your front knee there. And as we slow down the body, see if you can really tune in and literally slow down your breath. Notice the shift here of coming into a place of stillness and surrender. And as we release, holding space here for some counter movement. If you want, you can come back to down dog, drop down for a child's pose if you'd rather come into a resting counter pose. Any movement. Just kind of letting go, anything that maybe showed up there. Eventually making your way back to down dog, pausing to take 2 or 3 grounding breaths. Just as if we were standing tall in a mountain pose, same energy of just being really grounded into the earth floor. Anchored in our breath, its presence, its continuous flow in your body. The wisdom we find when we just pause and pay attention to our breath. When you're ready, half pigeon pose or any alternative pose on your back with your left knee forward, easing the right knee down. And maybe choosing to stay upright, just noticing and just also setting the intention, right? This resting phase of pigeon is a pose of like deep and mindful surrender. As we slow down the body and we breathe into our hip space. And the hips carry our water element, which is very symbolic also of emotional waters. Just visualizing very calm, still, tranquil waters. And once more, as we release now, take just a couple of moments to move around any final closing postures before we make our way to our seat. Any movement, any rest, maybe one last vinyasa flow, and just trust your intuition. And we're gonna make our way into a kneeling pose, hero's pose. If you do have a block, you can tuck a block right between your feet, underneath your sits bones. And just taking a moment, just being mindful of this transition after all of the flow and the, the sequence of moving through various standing and balancing postures. We now come into a place of just stillness, seated on the earth floor. And just to continue to bring us back to a very grounded, energetic place, just coming back to that mindful breath, turning your palms up as if you were like holding a tray. So your palms are in front of your waist or belly. And your next inhale is just lifting palms up to like shoulders, keeping your spine long to the top of your inhale, and then turning palms down. Exhaling. Just notice if you can really tune in to that space, in this case, right above each of your palms and between. Lightness. And as if you could feel yourself gravitating, pressing down towards the earth floor with the space beneath your palms. Let's do this 2 more times. And then now just bringing hands all the way to rest on your thighs. Just being a witness, just noticing the experience. And then coming onto your seat, let's stretch your right leg out at an angle. And we'll come into stargazer pose, stretching your left arm behind you like a kickstand, and the right arm up at an angle. And you can always stay seated and just kind of roll the shoulder open, or there is the option to press and lift up onto your left knee and stretch your arm at an angle. You can make any adjustments in terms of where you place the knee, foot, and both hands, right? If you want to move here, like through that lifted arm, just some fluidity for the shoulder, neck. If you're lifted, we'll ease back down, keeping your leg at an angle. And now bringing your right elbow inside your leg. And we reach right out to the other side with your left hand. And you can stay there reaching at an angle. If you want to drop and catch your foot, then you can choose where to place that bottom hand. Another option here is a bit of a half bind where you tuck the back of your hand, right, your left hand behind you. And then you can adjust your gaze so that you might find some nice sensation there and stretch for the outer neck, shoulder, all the way down into the outer hip and waist. See where you can breathe in terms of that sensation that you feel in your body. And then releasing, coming into butterfly pose between sides, so soles of the feet together. You can hold on to your ankles or around the feet or anywhere else that just feels secure for you. And just pause to breathe. Keeping the spine long. Scan your face. Notice if you're carrying any unwanted tension, even in the subtle areas around the mouth, into the jaw, the temples, forehead, cheekbones, around the eyes, the base of the skull, the back of the neck, down into the shoulder blades. And then we'll set that up on the other side, stretching your left leg out at an angle. And then finding that kickstand action, back hand down, arm at an angle. Again, you can always stay grounded here, just roll open or pressing to lift up onto that right knee, just making any adjustments so that we feel balanced and rooted, and then open up the body into your shape, whatever shape you create. And any movement that you want to explore, like you're literally also exploring the ether element, the space immediately around your yoga mat and physical body. The element of air, which is our lungs, our heart, right? As we breathe into our body and we explore the space within and around. If you're lifted, easing down, back down onto your seat, sliding your left elbow into the inner leg. And you can stay here, reaching at an angle, grab a hold of your foot, or coming into a half bind. And releasing from here. This time, let's stretch both legs long in front of you. Pausing in staff pose, so you just place your hands right next to your hips or fingertips. As if you could just literally feel yourself like reaching into the earth. Again, we come back to these grounding postures to ground ourselves with our breath. And when we slow down the breath, we slow down literally the response of our nervous system. And now from here, reaching arms up and overhead. See how tall you can grow here, right? From your hips up through heart space, fully expressed hands. One more breath. And then with ease, folding forward, Paschimottanasana, seated forward fold. And just tuck in. Doesn't matter how far you come down. Notice the sensation. See if you can explore that sensation with your breath. Maybe in the low back, certainly the hamstrings. Across the waist. If it's comfortable, we close the eyes and invoke, for this closing phase of our practice, a more inward gaze. And releasing. We're going to come to our backs now. If you'd like to find that transition using a little bit of that engagement of the core, you can do this with straight legs or bent knees and feet flat. We're going to come all the way down, one vertebrae at a time. Just choose your path and your pace. Bringing the knees together just as we started, feet wide. Or if you'd like, reclined butterfly, soles of the feet together, knees wide, as long as that doesn't bother the knees or hips. And then, if you'd like, left hand to heart and right hand to belly. And now we just focus on a couple of things. First, what it feels like to come back to laying on the earth floor, the back body just pleasantly releasing and rooting down. And then in the front body, just that next inhale, drawing up from belly space up to heart with ease, deep ease. Slowing down the exhale, breathing out through the nose or the mouth, you choose. Sometimes it's nice to take a deep and long inhalation through the nostrils and then to release slowly out the mouth like you were like fogging up a mirror. Because it's audible, not like can you feel it, but you can hear it. So it's like a cue to just, keep working with that, either version, breathing in and out of the nose or breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Let's take 3 more breaths here. Just be a witness to now, to breath, just to your presence, to your heart space, your connection, just igniting that seed of compassion. Putting a flame to kindness and compassion to ourselves and to others. Planting a deep seed of ease and seed after seed of peace and calm and just deep ease. Now you are welcome to stay here, or perhaps if you'd like to come into an inversion, like a shoulder stand, or even my favorite is legs up the wall. For a nice restorative position, you can just slide over and swing your legs up the wall and just like rest your arms at your side or keep your hands on your belly. Shoulder stand or Viparita Karani, coming to a nice waterfall. You can tuck a block under your hips or a cushion, and even like whatever you have at home if you want to like elevate your hips. Or maybe you just want to just stay where you are or finish with a twist to each side. Just keep the energy soft, the gaze inward. And just keep working with that mindful breath. Again, the wisdom we find, it's like the wisdom is already there. The practice of yoga is like a return to what we already know. It's a return to knowing. And the wisdom we find when we, of course, use movement to build energy, to release energy, to create space, but the wisdom we find when we slow down and pause and just be and breathe. I'll invite you now to stay where you are in any closing postures that you wish to explore. Otherwise, if you're ready to come into your final resting pose of Shavasana, corpse pose, go ahead and lay down now into the earth floor. Or if you'd rather, come into a seated meditation. But I'll suggest that you take some time to lay down into the earth floor, to give yourself this gift of a deep relaxation. To explore that deep-rooted sensation in the back body, down into the nourishing earth floor, and the spaciousness of the front body, all of the space and the lightness and the ease, and now even our breath just becomes at ease in its natural state, wherever it may dwell. This practice is intentionally designed to also be healing. And in this state of Shavasana, we receive all of the light and love and healing energy that you need in this moment without defining it, without any effort. We are in an energetic state of receiving. And even though we are together virtually, just also feeling like that collective presence, that collective connection, and collective compassion and healing. And this is where I will leave you, my dear friends, to remain in your Shavasana. If you are listening to this, the playlist, there is like an 8-minute track after this if you want to stay in an extended relaxation or take a few moments for a seated meditation or any other rituals on this Sunday that you can just take even 10 minutes for yourself. And taking all of that, all of this with you out into the rest of your day. And thank you so much for joining me. And I hope to see you again soon.